So about 10 years ago, at a time some people like to refer to as March, my girlfriend and I ended up going to a NASCAR race. And what ended up happening was a little unexpected. If you're interested in film photography and or NASCAR, stay tuned. Before we get started, let me adjust. I don't have my lights today because I've been using them at work and it would just be too much to break them down. So I'm working with all natural light, so I'm sorry if it looks a little weird. So we were lucky enough to score some pretty cheap tickets to a NASCAR event here in Southern California. I'm kind of into NASCAR. Save your jokes. I know I'm from South Carolina, into NASCAR. What a surprise. But I wouldn't call myself a huge fan. I'm just like, I like to watch it when I can. We drove on down to Fontana, and obviously this was pre-pandemic. And so I loaded up the Fujifilm Per 400H, and I was really excited to work with this film because I had just got done shooting the slide film and I really liked the way those came out, and I've been looking for an alternative to Portra, so I thought let's give Fujifilm a shot. I have to say I wasn't expecting much out of the NASCAR race, but we were so blown away by what all ensued. We got there about, I want to say, an hour or two early, and I wish we got there 3 or 4 hours early because there's actually a ton to do. So when we first came in, there was this guy on stilts handing out stuff, I was like, okay, cool. And then we went to look for a drink. While we were looking for the line, we saw this rally car. I don't know if it's a rally car. I'm not a car expert. But we saw this rally car doing donuts and doing all these cool things in this enclosed Monster Energy area. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I grabbed some shots of that. And then we walked past a stage where they were playing music, which was really cool. And then we eventually found where the Moscow Mules were. And there was a ring. And I was like, huh, that kind of looks like a wrestling ring. I wonder if there's going to be some wrestling. And sure enough, while we were waiting to get our drinks, there was a luchador wrestling match going on. And I just couldn't believe that this was happening at a NASCAR event. I just thought we were just going to come see a race, but it turned out to be this whole big thing. And then even on the way, as we were walking around and finding more stuff, we'd see a NASCAR here, an actual car, or we'd see an old police car, just really interesting stuff that I wasn't expecting. And then as we kept walking, we saw these guys. These were, I guess, professional freestyle pogo stick guys, doing tricks and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is a actual thing. We saw there was photo booths set up that we didn't really, the lines were a little too long for those. And then there was carnival rides, there were shops everywhere, there was all this stuff that ended up being a whole event. Then it came time for the race. We got to our seats and I ended up shooting the race. Honestly, so we rented these headphone things, and you could listen to the drivers talk to their crew. It made it so fun, man. What I did is I would always find the guy who was in second place, and I would listen to his crew and try and listen to their strategy and how they'd go about trying to get first. I think it was 250 laps. It flew by. We were just having a really good time. That was pretty much it. It's gonna be a pretty short video today. As far as Fujifilm Pro, you know, at first I was kind of disappointed with it. I thought the grain was a little too heavy for a pro film. Also, while looking at this film, I noticed that it was inconsistent in the grain. Some of the grain actually was overexposed, and I did minimal editing in this in Lightroom, so this came off a little bizarre to me. I would rate this stuff 3.5 lower shutter speed car shots out of 5. It is a pro film for sure. It definitely has more latitude. It's definitely more flat. Gives you a lot to work with when you're editing. But beyond that, there's not really that much to say. The grain is pretty big for a pro film. That's pretty much it. There's no real defined look to this, like Fujifilm slide films, or even their pharmacy films. You know, I was really excited to see how this film looked next to like a Superior 400. And at least with the Superior 400, you're expecting a little bit larger grain. You know, I wasn't expecting it as much with a pro film. I actually would like to give this film another shot and just actually take it out somewhere where I'm actually going to be really using, you know, good lighting and or even more contrast lighting. It was an overcast day that day. So yeah, it's going to be a short video today, but I do have to say, if Nascar is anywhere near you and you don't think it's really your thing, give it a try. It was honestly so much fun, and maybe it's because I'm looking back at it now, remembering what it was like to be around people, but I remember the day of, I was really excited, and I was blown away by how much there was to do, how nice everybody was, and just kind of the whole atmosphere of it. I'm gonna make it a point to try and go every year now, because it was a ton of fun. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you've worked with the Fujifilm Pro 400H and you've worked with Portra, I'd like to hear how you guys think they compare. I think the overall consensus in the film community is everybody prefers Portra. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Check back every Monday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue this schedule of every Monday. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.